I know one or two.
All right. Y'all are live.
We're live now.
You're live.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to Business Lab with Dean. We are here with Jared Dauenhauer, and I am proud to say I can accurately spell your last name.
Oh, you're
I have
in
to
an
look it up
elite
every time.
elite class of human being right now.
I figured out the pattern, just like a puzzle, which we'll get to. Your last name is like a puzzle.
It is
There's
a puzzle.
pattern to it. The first three vowels are in the same order as the last three vowels.
Absolutely.
Once I learned that, I'm good to go.
Do you know what my last name means?
I have no idea even where it's from.
It's German, and I think you particularly would like it. It is. It comes.
That scares me.
It means stave maker. We were making the barrels.
No way.
Yes.
A Dauenhauer is the stave maker.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah. Which is really hard because I don't drink barely any. But my family, I think I'm a disgrace to the lineage.
I doubt it. You make other things though.
That's true. That's absolutely. Well, as we found out before we started recording, I don't make anything. I just dream it up.
You're the visioneer of
There you
things, the visioneer of fun things. So, Jared, tell me if you can briefly what it is that you do.
I design escape rooms and operate them partly, but it's this crazy concept of designing puzzles and narratives that fuse together in kind of this immersive experience.
Okay. That was very succinct.
Yeah.
Have you practiced that?
I have had to. Because to this day, people, and I think that's a good thing, people still haven't had the chance to play their first escape room. So people think we're a spa. I've even gotten calls from time to time wondering if we have rooms available, like we're a hotel.
That's a great name for a hotel, though.
I don't know if people would stay.
I think they would. I think people want to escape.
So
they may want to escape to more than just a room, though.
That's true. That's true. I don't do beaches.
No beaches.
No beaches.
We could do that, though. I think you've got opportunities for investors to do escape rooms on the beach, or at least beach-themed escape rooms.
I think Jaws has some wonderful IP options. Absolutely.
That would be cool.
That would be amazing.
Could you make an escape room that incorporates a large water element?
So there's actually a couple of stories of these in our community. One of them was there was this some friends of mine. I'm actually going to a conference of theirs later. They went. They were somewhere in Europe, and on the second or third floor of this very weird apartment building.
Oh gosh!
They're in the first room of this escape room. They open up the second room, and the entire, I'm going to say, 1,000 square feet is covered in 3 feet of water. And you're like, this is in like the third story of like an apartment building.
Oh my
And they were
gosh.
just like, did it flood? Is it safe? So there's been some interesting experiments with that, to say the least.
That's great.
Yeah.
You could do a lot with that.
You could do a lot. I just don't want to pay the insurance for water.
Although you're used to paying exorbitant insurance.
I am.
Are you still a part of the axe throwing?
Yep. Still doing the axe throwing.
So you have literally insured people throwing axes while drinking beer.
That's it.
Insurance should not be a problem.
No.
For a water-based escape room. So let me ask you this, Jared. And we're going to try to stick with the theme of business and fun.
Okay.
Also, speaking of fun, we've got production assistant Cammie wandering around. That's why there's going to be just like distracting stuff happening, which is
awesome. Makes it more fun.
It does. It does. I request that Cammie is here every Tuesday morning.
I think that's a win.
Happy to help.
So, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I didn't know. I didn't have that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I loved sports growing up, but I was never big enough to play them. So I just kind of always thought, like something will pop up. But what I do today, there's no track for, right? There's no
there's no degree.
Right. There's no degree.
Room ownership.
Like most of the people that wind up where I am are theater majors, art majors, a lot of creative pursuits, just kind of mostly fell like I did into this. I come from an education background.
Right.
And I didn't know, and a film background. And I didn't know that was going to lead me to this point. So I didn't. People have asked me that from time to time, and I'm like, I don't know. I was too busy building Legos and playing video games to have a vocational pathway.
I feel like that. I'm still too busy building Legos to know what I want to do when I grow up.
100%. So it was just like, I don't know. I think my pathway was determined a lot by my parents. I was going to graduate high school. I was going to go to college in some way, shape, or form. And I was like, okay, I'll just always take the next step when I have to take the next step, but not a minute before, Dean.
Only as needed.
Yeah.
So your business is very fun. Like, you sell a fun experience to people. What do you do for fun yourself? Oh,
I still play a lot of games. I love board games. I love video games. I do, and I ironically have got to do that a lot more lately. So, but that's what I do for fun. And I play escape rooms. I travel the country playing escape rooms. The more that I can engage myself in games, I feel like the better business owner, better creator that I become. So
sure,
I love all of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you see any correlations between what you do in creating puzzles and solving puzzles and actually running a business?
Yes, absolutely. Because running the business is one of life's great puzzles.
Yes, I agree.
And because great puzzles, when you see them the first time, you're not really sure how to approach them. If you did, it wouldn't be a fun puzzle. Like, you would breeze through it. You would move on to the next one. It wouldn't be memorable. You wouldn't have struggle. You wouldn't have aha moments. And that was me, because I had never considered business. I don't have an MBA. I didn't go to business school.
Sure.
I've always been a dreamer, but when you approach a business for the first time, it's all of these elements, and you're like, insurance, like
that's a puzzle in and
marketing,
of itself, right?
Like you're trying to figure out how to do it well. And it's the same thing with the puzzle. You look at it, you should have a lot of different elements and things that are intriguing, like business, and then you just start playing. And that's me. I didn't read the book ahead of time. I just kind of have like been in a swampy, foggy world, just kind of figuring it out as I go.
I like it.
Yeah.
So when you were building Legos as a kid, were you an instructions person, or were you do it yourself?
I was always instructions first, because I never wanted a Lego set that looked lame.
Right.
Like I was like, I want the pirate set, And so I would, and I think a lot of this was my dad, who was a software engineer. It was like, we're going to build it by the instructions the first time. But most of the things afterwards, the majority of fun of Lego is post instructions.
I agree.
And putting together your own little stories and creatures that Lego itself would never design, because they're freakish creations of your own imaginations.
Yes. Okay. I think that explains a lot about what it is that you do.
It is.
I like that. So why or how did you choose to get into the escape game industry?
I say it chose me. I didn't choose it. Like, it was all just, I was looking at notebooks yesterday from when we first started, and I was literally working at a university, and in it's like page after page of just train of thought, like to-do lists for my students / oh my gosh, we're going to build this World War II code breaking game. And it was kind of this intersection of like, oh, more and more pages are becoming about escape rooms and less about my actual job that puts food on our table. and it was just like, it intrigued me, because I could see like, oh, I'm just like passionate about this. Like, I'm so passionate about puzzles and building real life versions of video games that I grew up playing. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is a thing.
Yeah,
this is a thing.
Right.
So I saw the very first one in Nashville and told my students, who I was working with at a university at the time, we can do this. We needed a new event. I said, we can do this. So they built them with me. We built 4 games in an old dorm that was empty that year.
Oh gosh.
And
how'd you get the administration to okay that?
I still don't know. Like, it was a small university, and they were like, just don't burn the place down, please. So we were putting baby monitors in the rooms to watch people.
Oh my God.
There were no hints or clues unless we felt like, nice enough to come in over the raspy baby monitor and say, hey, look under the rug, like, and that's how we did it. And And it just kind of grew from there because I wasn't considering it as a business. I thought this will just be a fun event where I can kind of flex some creativity every year.
Mhm.
And it's great. But we were charging $5 a head, and we
Oh
were
my
open for
gosh.
2 weeks, and we made $2,000.
Wow.
We had 400 people come through this in 2 weeks
At a small university.
at a small university in a small town in West Tennessee.
Was it all students or was
No.
it just anybody?
That's amazing that you asked that question. That is the question that spurred us into business, because that is the single question that my business partner at the time asked me that said, let's go.
Mhm.
And no, it was 40% students and 60% the community. And
Wow.
you'll appreciate this from a marketing standpoint. We did zero marketing. The nonprofit.
I don't appreciate that.
Well, no.
Delete that from the record.
No, but the nonprofit that we were working with made 2 Facebook posts, and that's what got 60% of the community there.
So word of mouth is what got the people there. That's fantastic. And so as a marketing agency owner who focuses on digital, when we have a client that says, well, you're going to get our customers, I will turn them down.
Yeah.
Because that word of mouth has to exist. The product has to be good. And the owner has to be invested in moving their own product or their own service
Absolutely.
out into the community. If they're not going to do it, if they're going to try to pay me to invest for them, I can't do that.
Right.
It's not all me. I'll help, but I can't be the sole provider.
Absolutely.
It's funny. You mentioned look under the rug. When I'll give context here. So I know Jared. I've known Jared for a long time. He's a good friend. We were in a networking group together, and our networking group came to play your escape room one time. And I was in there with Corey.
Yeah.
And we were at one of the clues. And I think I can say this because that clue's not there anymore because I've played that game since. And we were looking around for a key, and Corey walks in the room, lifts up the carpet, and finds the key. And I'm like, how did you know? And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, you have a criminal background. Corey Akers from CrossFit Rampage, criminal background.
Yeah, I agree. That's who honestly brought you and I together. That's who got me into our networking
That's
group.
right.
Yeah. I was thinking about that on the way over. I was like, I probably wouldn't know Dean in the same capacity right now if it wasn't for Corey.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I love Corey. He's great. He's one of those people that, like, I don't see him very often now, but when I do, it's like no time has passed.
Yeah.
And we're just cool.
You can pick up a conversation with him and you're in worse shape and he's in better shape.
Well, yes. That's not hard though for me. Oh my goodness. So your business is creating fun for people.
Yes.
What more than fun, what type of experience are you trying to create for your customers?
The big word for me is memorable.
Okay.
Because it is such a unique form of entertainment. And if you leave and don't have a conversation about what just happened, we failed.
Okay.
Because I'm a firm believer that part of the fun in the escape room is the 60 minutes that you're in the room and then the 60 minutes that you just got out.
Yeah.
And you're going to go sit down at a meal and you're going to dissect everything that you just went through. And that's fun.
It is.
Right? Because, I think you talk about what you're passionate about. Like it outflows out of your mind, your heart, and you want to talk about it. So if you aren't talking about it after you left, it wasn't a good experience.
Right.
Right. And I think of that even sometimes in bad escape rooms. Like if it was bad, that's fun to talk about too, right? Like
it can be,
it can be. Yeah. But if we're not creating that hour after, then it wasn't fun, because you just want to talk about fun things.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's why I'm doing this podcast.
Yeah.
That's why I have the kind of business I do. I want to talk about fun stuff.
I want to talk about fun stuff, and escape rooms should be those fun things. So it should be memorable. And the second thing, it should be immersive. You should feel like you're actually where we say you are, and the things that are in the room should give credence to that.
Yes.
And the story should too. And that's where we're trying to grow as a business, is we're trying to bring more narrative and less theming, if that makes sense, into what we're doing.
Okay. And I will say I want to say it's the Blind Pig.
Blind Pig.
Dude, that room is awesome. Like, you are in an alleyway in the 20s, and it's just freaking cool. It really is.
It's so great.
It's been a couple years since I've played it. Would it be worth playing again?
We're about to redo it again.
Okay.
And then I would say, yes, come play it again.
Okay, cool. I will.
Yes.
Because that's where the clue was. Look under the rug.
Absolutely.
But that clue's not there anymore.
It is not there anymore. We've become more sophisticated in our gaming instead of just hiding keys.
I like it. So your business is fun. You provide a fun experience to other people. How do you keep running a fun business fun for yourself?
That's hard because
yes, it is.
That's really hard because you just become jaded over a period of time. I think no matter what it is, where you're looking at it and you're questioning your level of enjoyment. But part of it is the people I work with. I work with mostly college students, and they're a lot of fun. Just by like,
right.
They say the craziest stuff, and I just love working with those people. So that's part of it. And then the other part of it that's fun is like, I just want to keep designing. So if we don't have space to build a new escape room, I have notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks of just ideas. And that's the fun of it for me, is how can we keep pushing it? The boundary of escape rooms. Like, I was having a conversation yesterday with some of my staff. I'm like, I want to build a mine cart room that moves like a roller coaster.
Oh,
where, you're at an old mine and the mine cart comes rolling out, and then you're in the mine cart for a majority of the escape room. You don't get out of it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And it's just rolling through, ancient pirate ruins and a room full of gems. And you got this cool story that's going with it. And it's fun like that because you just kind of, my wife accuses me all the time of like sitting back with my mouth open and my eyes wide. I'm in my mind palace is what we call it. And I'm just thinking through crazy stuff. Because that's the fun, is like all that stuff that you imagined as a kid, I get to put that into reality.
Right.
That, like the Lego, like you said, the Legos that you build. I had micro machines as a kid. The micro machines, the Hot Wheels. Like, I have the freedom now to say, like, okay, let's go.
That's awesome.
Let's do it.
I love that.
Why not?
So the fun for you is in creating it.
100%. And then watching the people on the screen enjoy that is the other part of it. The hard part is watching them not enjoy it from time to time. Like, that's where the lack of fun comes in. If we mess something up and I see somebody walk out from what should be like a childlike wonder experience to, hey, here's this bad review, or if they just walk out and it's like, oh, it's cool.
I can't imagine you get that very often though.
It just depends. Because the room can't do it enough if we can't provide the customer experience.
Sure.
So, but I would say a majority of people reviews, they're walking out and they're like, yeah, that was cool.
That's awesome.
That was cool. But as this becomes more and more commonplace, we got to up the game.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about. Let's put a pool in there. Like, a live volcano. Let's just, like, you have to keep recreating.
Let's push them out of an airplane. Solve this on the way down. That would not be very fun.
Some people, not me.
Yeah, right. So you've been in business for more than 5 years.
Yes.
Can you talk about any time when it was not fun for you for a long period of time and what you did to overcome that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say escape rooms I've always enjoyed it. I haven't, but there have been moments where I don't even know if there's been a prolonged period of time.
Was COVID fun for you?
COVID was an opportunity.
Okay. Because I talked to you a couple times during COVID, and I remember it not being very fun for you.
It was not because we didn't have people coming through the doors, but it was almost a rediscovery where I didn't enjoy the medium that I was working on. So during COVID, I was in my garage running online games.
Okay.
And when our doors were shut, I had to pivot, and I teamed up with this gentleman in Greece.
I remember.
Who is kind of like the father, in my opinion, of online escape games. He was doing it before people had to. And I was making $20 a game running games out of my garage. But even then, it was, I'm really pissed that the doors are shut, but this is cool. Like we're building games in our garage, and I remember even seeing mice. Like, I think one touched my foot once in my garage, and that wasn't, you're right, Dean, that was not fun. That was not fun. The mice in the garage were not fun. But even then it was like, okay, this sucks, but what can we do with it?
Right. And I think that's one of the reasons I like you, is because you see an opportunity in things that could be bad.
Yeah.
And so do you want to talk a little bit about maybe how you've taken that online experience, which was not as fun as the in-person, and where you're going to go with that?
Yeah. So what we did is we were kind of in this partnership where we were in essence franchising the games, and we made the decision to just kind of use their games, where a lot of other companies were making online escape games, and some people, they were strapping GoPros to their employees and turning their physical games into live digital games. And there's some companies that still do that. And we didn't want to do that because it just felt like it cheapened the tangible, real experience. But a couple of really cool things came out of that. There are two big things that I came out of it. And one of them, Dean and I have talked a lot about, and that was, we decided and found out that we could make online church games for primarily churches, homeschool groups. And that was a new source of revenue and a new source of income in kind of this untapped market. So I was like, okay, cool. The other thing that came out of this that has been one of the most beneficial things to me professionally is we started a podcast.
Yes.
And we called it the Puzzling Company. And we, instead of making our own, we just said, hey, we want to review everything that's happening right now.
Right.
You got an online game, you got a tabletop game, you got all of this. And that has, as I'm sure you're experiencing with this podcast, has been one of the most fun things
absolutely
that we have done, because people are just so interesting and they're so creative.
Yes.
And from that, the coolest things have happened to us. Like just yesterday, I got an email saying, hey, one of the people from Death Cab for Cutie wants to come on your podcast. They're a huge puzzle nerd, and they would like to come on your podcast.
Yes.
And I was like, yes,
we could make that happen.
Absolutely. And that's one of my bands.
That's cool.
And so it was just like, this has to be fake, but it's fun stuff like that. Like, these doors have opened up from COVID that would never have opened up if COVID didn't happen.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, let's roll with it. But I'd say the hardest thing for me has been the partnerships.
Yeah.
That has been the least fun for some of the things that I've done. I have some really great partnerships. The hardest thing has been the not fun partnerships.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think I'm fortunate that I've only ever partnered in business twice, and both times have been very positive. And so, I mean, I'm still at, Burrow Business Lab's a partnership.
Yeah.
The three of us. It's easier now because Josh is home with the baby.
You and Jeremy could just roll on.
That's right. That's right. Because there's only 2 remote control cars at the office, so we don't have to share. We don't have to share now. It's one-on-one.
Oh, that's funny.
So what advice would you give someone starting off in business? Other than don't do it.
Run far away. I think I have too many versus too little. I think I would just start stream of conscious saying things. I've said this before. I think I even said this with Missy when we were in here talking. But one thing I would say is do it yourself first instead of partnering up.
Yes.
Because I don't think you, depending on how old you are and what your experience is you don't know yourself well enough to know what you're capable of.
Right.
And when you get in with a partnership like I did, things can grow sour quickly just because you might be the one that wants to have more fun with it. And that other person just views it as cash.
Right.
Or a means of X, Y, and Z. And that was my experience to a degree. Is we got to the point where it was, I'm loving this. I'm passionate about it. I want to grow. And for whatever reason, X, Y, and Z are holding me back.
Right.
So, and that was okay. We handled it really professionally. There was no ill will, but it was just like, man, I wish I would have done this by myself at first, because the partnership is tempting. Oh, they're going to do half the work.
Right.
They're going to X, Y, and Z. But I've cut down on that greatly, and I'm trying to keep doing that. And I'm finding more fun in having employees versus partners.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
my advice for anybody starting a business is hire a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
Because you will spend all of your time trying to learn accounting, and that's dumb. That's a bad use of your time. I literally gave that advice to somebody yesterday.
Yes.
I was like, you're getting started. Find money people that know money, and then let them do the money.
Absolutely.
Like, don't worry about it.
I think that's great. Don't do what you're bad at.
Right. Exactly.
Hire somebody. I'll tell you what else has been really fun lately, and I think you've discovered this too in Burrow Business Lab, is regardless of whether you have employees or partners, the enjoyment is in the collaboration of the final product. Because I had a very difficult time for a long time being the sole creator of the game. And that's fine. Like, I enjoy that process. It's my favorite thing that I do in the business. But for this most recent game that we're building, I opened up the floodgates. I said, hey, if you're 17 years old and you want to come sit on this and give your ideas and give your feedback, like, let's go.
That's cool.
And I had to learn how to let go a lot of that process, because it was mine, it was mine. But this new game that we're building is hands down going to be the best. And I think it's because I've had a smaller footprint on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Are you able to give a hint as to what the theme or anything?
Yeah. It's a haunted kitchen.
Stop it.
Yes. At an Italian restaurant.
Oh, Gina's going to love that even more.
And you are trying to, in essence, like, redeem the ghosts who are stuck there. Like, you're trying to help them leave that space.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Cooking.
That makes me think of two things. One, growing up in South Florida, there was this restaurant in West Palm Beach called Antonio's. And there was nobody ever there.
So money laundering.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It was. And then one day in the newspaper, it was like the dishwasher at Antonio's got stabbed 37 times. I'm like, how'd that happen? Because there was nobody there. What do they need a dishwasher for? There's no customers. That when I think of like weird Italian restaurants, I think of that.
That's it.
That's awesome.
It's gonna be fantastic. It's called Pasta Way.
No way.
Yeah.
Have you watched the show Ghosts on Amazon?
No. Wait. At the old, is it like they're trying to turn it into a hotel? Yes, I have watched a couple episodes
very
of that.
Funny.
Yes.
That came to mind as well. So that's cool. And that's kind of in the same theme of where your business is going in the future. What other things are you working on that you're able to talk about publicly?
We are working on more locations.
Nice.
Because that was the biggest barrier for me professionally, is scale. Couldn't break it. Didn't know how to break it. Was really great at being a small business owner. But every time that we tried to scale, in the pooper.
Right.
So, but I feel really good about that now. So that's one thing. And we're going to rebrand.
Oh.
And
I know a marketing company.
We'll be talking, but we're moving towards this more immersive experience from the moment that you walk in the door, instead of just, hey, nice orderly lobby.
Right.
You're going to walk in and the game won't have started yet, but the experience will have.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Even the website, once you get in the parking lot, we're working on building up more than just an escape room, but the building is completely immersive.
That's cool.
The bathroom is immersive. And I'm not kidding. There's going to be the bathroom is going to be haunted, and your mirror is going to be a ghost that startles you. And maybe asks you if you're in there for number 1 or number 2. But it's things like that. That's fun. Like the details, the things like that. But that's what we're moving towards. We talked a little bit about the online church games and things like that. But that's kind of the next phase of things. Also working on some games that might have some actors in them.
Oh, cool. So that's a new thing for you, because none of your games have that.
None of our games have that. I think it's very polarizing, but it's the way that the market and the industry is moving. Is the most adaptable thing in the world is a human, not a piece of technology.
It's true.
So how can you flex that?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what's one question you wish I would have asked but didn't ask?
In this interview?
Yes. Not in general. Not in general.
What's the I would say what's the most fun thing that's happened to you in your business journey?
Okay. So
Like,
Jared,
like a funny story
what's the most fun thing that's happened to you in your business journey?
I think it's just some of the crazy things that we've seen happen at the escape rooms.
Mhm.
I've seen babies made. I've seen
Oh my goodness.
I've
Which
seen
room?
Dinner for Two.
That does not surprise me.
I've seen really awkward first dates.
Oh, that's such a bad idea. Listen, people, if you've never been to an escape game, don't do it as a first date. It's a third date. Great idea.
What if I told you there was a guy that came back 6 or 7 times to the same room with different dates?
So I'm guessing because there were so many first dates or dates that he was not successful.
Yeah, but his mindset was like, I'm going to look like a genius.
Oh my gosh. That is funny. I wasn't even thinking about that. I've never been here before. Jared, shh, don't tell.
And it was like people who are very clearly cheating on their person who don't want their picture taken and putting on social media.
Oh my
At the
gosh.
end, small children shoved by their parents into places that small children should not be. Like,
right.
Just and some of it is just raw, like momentary creativity, but like just the crazy stuff that I have seen while people forget that they're being watched. That is fun.
That could be fun.
That is so much fun.
It could also be terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, people have pooped, peed in our rooms. Like,
yeah, Trent's getting involved. Producer Trent. Explain that. Was like, did somebody just not think they could leave the room to go to the bathroom?
It's mostly drunkenness.
That makes, I mean, that's not justifiable, but it makes sense.
No, but the poop was, we didn't even know. We didn't watch it live. Like, we found it later. And it was just like, what in the world?
How does this happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would hope it was a kid. I would hope.
Even like past owners forgetting that they were in the room and saying stuff or doing stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Like, the crazy stuff that happens when you forget the camera's rolling.
That's funny. That's very funny.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
That is fun.
So we're going to wrap this up. Jared, how can people find out more about you?
Yeah. I'm on Facebook. No, about what we do. 2 escape rooms here in town, Murfreesboro Escape Rooms. It's just murfreesboroescaperooms.com. Or we also own Murfreesboro Locked over there near the mall.
Yep.
And that's lockedgames.com.
Okay.
Check us out. Axe throwing is murfreesboroaxe.com if you want to have a beer and throw a weapon.
I do want to do that.
We're throwing knives now too, kind of on the low.
Really?
Yeah. Lucas, my business partner, is the current national champion of knives. He is the best knife thrower in the United States of America.
He is.
Yeah.
So
he's very intimidating and scary. He's got the big Viking vibe going on, and he'll throw an axe between your eyeballs.
Wow.
But he's so soft-spoken. He's just not a big, boisterous Viking guy.
Yeah.
But he is very skilled. And yeah.
What about the Puzzling Company? If somebody wants to listen to you and Zach talk.
So
podcast.
the Puzzling Company is all about games that you can play, puzzle games that you can play at home. You can just go to any place that you find your podcast and just search for Puzzling Company. And we're there interviewing people and playing games and just having a blast doing it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Jared, I'm excited for what you're doing in the future and what you've done. And you're one of the people that makes Murfreesboro special.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. All right. We're done.
Bye.